Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Lost and Found. We are glad you are here with us. We'll be gathering weekly with the first and the third Sundays of each month being a worship service, and the other Sundays being our soul studies for discussion and wrestling with all manner of peacemaking and faith questions together. So, friends, this is holy ground, separated by miles, but connected in our hearts. We welcome you into this worshiping space. So, breathe deeply and be fully present with your fellow peacemakers.
Thank you so much, Tijoti. So good to see everyone here. I would like to just read a prayer. I feel grateful for this. I am traveling right now, so it felt really appropriate and just magically appropriate. This is from Sanctified Art. So I want to lift this up. God of the weary traveler, our feet are dusty from the roads we've traveled. This past week, this past year, every day of our lives. We followed your star here looking for a glimmer of hope. And now, after a long journey, we've set our baggage down. We have arrived. We're here and we're on holy ground. You may not show up where we expect you, but we trust that you are here nevertheless. Be known to us in the hope of, of the star, the peace of a baby snuggled in the manger, the joy of arrival, and love that could not stay away. We are here, you are here, and we are so very grateful. Amen.
Next, I'd like to share with you a song by Josh Ritter called Lantern. The light of my lantern, the light of my lantern, be the light. The light of my lantern, the light of my lantern tonight. Be the light of my lantern, the light of my lantern, be the light. I need the light of my lantern, the light of my lantern tonight. It's a hungry world out there, even the wind will take a bite. I can feel the world circling, slipping round me in the night. The lost sheep grow teeth, forsake the lambs in line with the lions. The living is desperate, precarious and mean. Getting by is so hard that even the rocks are picked clean. And the bones of small contention are the only food the hungry find. I'll need light from my lantern, light from my lantern tonight.
Thank you, Angela. Welcome, everybody. If this is your first time with us, we're so happy you're here. And if this is not the first time you're with us, we're happy you're here. I just want to say my gratitude for this incredible team, and particular for Chijioki, who is coming to us from Nigeria, where he's preparing for his wedding, and it is the middle of the night there. And Marissa, who's coming to us from Puerto Rico, and Angela's in Florida, and we are all over the place and all gathered together. So thank you. I wanted us to take just a little bit of time before we move into our reflective exercise together to really celebrate and contemplate Epiphany together, the celebration of the celestial. I was reminded this last week that the Magi were, in fact, radicals. They were following the stars as they had before. They were following orders as they had before. And then they were transformed by what they gave and what they received. They engaged in civil disobedience, disregarding a despot in favor of quite literally following their dreams. They were acting in ways that were noteworthy and strange after meeting Jesus and Mary and Joseph. It serves as a good reminder. There is no regime that ends up being more powerful than the seekers of holy light, even when there are storms on the horizon, even when the storms are already here. We gather at the dawning of a new year, one in which we grieve the ongoing genocide in Palestine, the ache of gun violence here in the US, the uncertainty of what on earth 2025 is going to bring. And I am glad to be with peacemakers today, ones who know how to keep moving towards God's vision of peace on earth, even when the task feels impossible. You do it with love, and you often enough do it with a smile on your face and a song. I have seen most of you do this. And sometimes I wonder if you really remember how radical a thing that is when you sing as you march and protest and act for justice. There is deep and beautiful precedent in the power of song in protest spaces. Music was at the heart of the US civil rights movement. Freedom singer Rutha Mae Harris described it this way. She said, "Music is an anchor. It kept us from being afraid. You start singing a song and somehow those billy clubs would not hit you." The bruises remained, but music could make people feel and be stronger together than they were alone. So much so that Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Ralph Abernathy and John Lewis and so many others went to get special training as movement leaders on the power of song at the Highlander Folk School in Monteagle, Tennessee. I think singing counteracts the fracturing, deep disconnection between body and spirit and mind, an affliction that I know impacts a lot of us. We can believe a thing, but we need to embody it. We can work towards a goal, but until we move our bodies towards it, it stays out of reach. Over and over, we see in activist spaces the way music and song can change our posture and our presence and our whole way of being. As someone who was told at an early age that I can't sing, which, fair enough, I always double check I'm on mute before I start singing, I am in awe of anyone who can just burst into song because of or in spite of what is happening around them. I have a particular space in my heart on that topic for Ms. Fannie Lou Hamer, posthumously awarded the Medal of Freedom just this past week, and she has been on my mind all week. So I'm sure she's someone familiar to most, if not all of you, but a refresher for all of us. Fannie Lou Hamer was born poor. She died poor. She lived most of her life in poverty. She was her parents' 20th child. 20th child, born in Montgomery County, Mississippi in 1917. Her parents were sharecroppers, and by age 6, she was picking cotton alongside the rest of her family and left school for good at 12 to work. She'd go on to marry Perry Hamer in her 20s. And her life was marked throughout with meeting challenges head on and with a lot of pain. She was the victim of the eugenicist practice of forced sterilization. She endured a hysterectomy to which she did not consent while undergoing surgery to remove a uterine tumor. This was a common enough thing for sterilization of Black women as a way to reduce the Black population was so widespread, it was known colloquially as a Mississippi appendectomy. The Hamers chose to adopt 2 daughters and got, around the same time, Hamer got involved with SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, became a SNCC organizer in '62 and wound up being harassed, fined, and fired from her job for attempting to vote. She was arrested again in '63 for sitting in a whites-only bus station in Winona, Mississippi. At the jailhouse, she was beaten so badly, she sustained lifelong injuries in her kidney, leg, and eyes. And she didn't stop. She was involved in a number of organizing efforts, but she's probably best known for helping to organize Freedom Summer in '64, bringing college kids by the hundreds to help register Black voters in the South. She was so far ahead of her time. She's a visionary who is beautifully and powerfully relentless. She'd go on to turn to economic strategies, launching the Freedom Farm Cooperative and ensuring 200 units of low-income housing were built. She worked and she pushed, and every time she met a goal, she'd find a new one and begin working towards that. She died of lack of access to good health care from breast cancer at age 59. And throughout all of this, Fannie Lou Hamer kept singing. Many songs, but This Little Light of Mine was her anthem. To which I would respond, how? How in a life like that, with that kind of pain and struggle and violence, did she find the strength to sing with joy? In her own words, she said, "Singing is one of the main things that keeps us going. When you're in a brick cell, locked up, and haven't done anything to anybody, but still you're locked up there. And sometimes words just begin to come to you and you begin to sing." Like one of my favorites, This Little Light of Mine, I'm Going to Let It Shine. The same song goes back to the 5th chapter of Matthew, the Beatitudes, when he says, "A city that sets on a hill cannot be hid. Let your light shine so that men would see your good works and glorify the Father which is in heaven." I think singing is very important, she says. It brings out the soul. So I hold her particularly in my heart as we enter into this new year journey, remembering that she followed the vision for the better world and set off on a journey to bring it into fruition. So my friends, to seeking the light and to singing loud and bringing out the soul in whatever lies ahead. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you for that and for uplifting Fannie Lou Hamer's name and legacy. I want to invite people right now, if you haven't already, as we come together, if you can quickly find a piece of paper or a journal or a writing instrument as we come together to share and to go within ourselves to think. So I'm going to give people a few seconds to do that. As you're doing that, I also wanted to mention I'm so grateful to be here with you all now because actually tomorrow I'm in Puerto Rico, and tomorrow in Puerto Rico is Kings Day. So it's cool to be here with you all, and then yeah, about to celebrate with folks here. I don't know too much about it, but it's just nice to be here in this space with you all, and to be celebrating and to be able to wish people Feliz Dia de los Reyes. So thank you. Um, so as hopefully you find a piece of paper or a pencil. It doesn't have to be perfect, but something that will allow you to feel free to draw and reflect. Uh, we have a series of questions we want to share with you, three of them, and as we do that, I feel very grateful to have Angela here to share some music with us for the next 10 minutes as we come together. So the three questions we have for you, and again, I'm just learning how to draw, so you can feel free to draw, sketch, write responses. And yeah, you can feel free to answer all of them or one of them. But the first, and they'll come up in a second, or you can look at the Canva, is how do you know and love God? So that is the first question. The second is how do you let God know and love you? And then finally, how do you let others know and love you? So for the next 10 minutes, we can go into practice with ourselves and to write and reflect. We'll come together. I'll read them actually one more time. I also just like to hear them out loud. I could just hear the questions. And also, yeah, if people want to share after, we can, and then we can turn off the recording if you'd like. So no pressure. So once again, how do you know and love God? How do you let God know and love you? And how do you let others know and love you? So thank you, and we will come together. You can turn off your camera if you want in 10 minutes. So thank you. Thank you so much for that. That was lovely.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think if it's okay, I think we can turn off pause the recording for a second.
To lift up my
you do, if you do want to follow along with me and say it out loud, as this is a community prayer, just keep yourself muted on Zoom because unfortunately we can't all speak at the same time on Zoom. So yeah. So just so yeah, this is by Reverend MJ Jade Kaiser from Infleshed, which I've only seen Infleshed as like an online publication, but they have really great stuff, really amazing, like, yeah, combination of activism and spirituality. And so, yeah, I'll start now. Searching for a glimpse of change, seeking liberation from colonizing forces, the Magi journeyed, crossing foreign lands and borders with only a star as their guide. The same glimmer of hope that guided their way calls us today. Through night skies and morning dew, through community and in silent meditation, through songs ancient and new, through art and bodies and creation, through collectives of people who dare to break rules in the direction of a better world. It calls us to come and share our resources equitably, to come and delight in love Infleshed, to come and join in the spirit of deliverance, birthed far from the centers of power. At the birth site of God, the way is revealed.
Thank you for that. And now I'd like to share another song with you. This is Sure on This Shining Night, and it's written by Samuel Barber. It's one of my favorite art songs of his. Hope you enjoy. Sure on this shining night of stormy shadows round, kindness must watch for me beside the ground. Love leaves here lies down the north. All is healed. All is health. My summer holds the earth. Hearts all Sure on this shining night I weep for wonder, wandering forlorn of shadows on the stars.
Thank you, Angela. Thank all of you for being here and sharing this space and sharing of yourselves for this community. I'm going to close us out tonight by sharing a poem called For the Sake of All by Meister Eckhart, a 13th century priest, mystic, little bit of a heretic, one of my favorites. In your first glimpse, before time and space ever were, you saw everything in a single moment. And in that look gathered all that was and is to be, even me, freeing me to will as you will for the sake of love, and to love as you love for the sake of all. Amen. Go in peace, my friends.